guys, welcome back to my channel. It's day 7. It's the last day. We have lots of fun activities to show you. What the heck? What is that for?
I don't know.
Oh, here they are.
Do you have any of the pink cake pops?
Is it like...
Well, a very good morning, ladies, to get you up relatively early, but this is just a wonderfully intimate opportunity for you to get to know and to ask questions, if you have any, of our ship's senior officers. But to get things started, first and foremost, overseeing the hotel or the hospitality side of things is the hotel director. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Umet. Now, on the other end of the spectrum is the Marine side, and this particular officer runs a very large division within his department. He and his team know every single nut, bolt, and boilerplate on the ship, and they make sure that the azipods that we use to propel the ship are always purring like a kitten. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our Chief Engineer, Jersey! And last, but absolutely by no means least, is the officer that I always say goes to bed with 8,000 people underneath his pillow because he is in charge of everything everything that happens here, both on the marine side and the hotel side. He is the master of the vessel, ladies and gentlemen, Captain Dustin. Morning, Captain. Well, we'll let everyone get settled in, and then we'll start with our hotel director here, and I'll let them introduce themselves and give you a brief explanation of how it was that they came to be sitting in these seats this morning.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Captain's Corner. My name is Umit. I'm from Turkey, and I will answer all the hotel-related questions. Since it is a floating hotel, there's a lot of services that we manage together with 2,200 crew members on board, coming from about 64 different countries. I started Royal Caribbean back in 1996 when Sovereign of the Seas was the biggest ship of the world. And I started as a waiter assistant, and I worked pretty much everywhere in the hotel. Then I became hotel director about 5 years ago. And I had the privilege of working on many of our ships, except the Icon and the Spectrum. I've been on every one of our Royal Caribbean ships so far. So if you have any questions about other ships as well, go ahead and ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Chief.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Jerzy. I'm from Poland. Finished academy in 1981, 21 time ago. 17 years in cargo ships, and I decided to move to the passenger ship. And since 1999, I've been with Royal Caribbean. Starting as a second engineer, then going up to the chief engineer position, promoted in 2011 in Champion of the Seas. Many ships, I think most of the class of the ships I've been in Royal Caribbean, now in Symphony, enjoying the cruise, I think the same as you do. So if you have any questions, please ask. Thank you.
And Captain.
Where is everyone going?
It's a beautiful
Did
day.
you tell them it's a captain's corner, not a cruise director's chat, or what?
No, it's a beautiful day. They're all out by
They're up reserving their pool chair, I guess, for the day. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. My name's Tessa. I'm the captain, so I will answer every question that I have an answer to, and I'll let them answer the ones that I don't know the answer to. No, I'm kidding. I have been with the company 22 years. I joined in 2003 as a second officer. Like the chief engineer said, on the marine side, we generally come in the junior positions, and we work our way up through the ranks. I sailed as well on many of the classes, or all of the classes of the ships we have in the fleet, with some great captains, some great mentors. And I was promoted to captain in 2011. My first ship as captain being the Majesty of the Seas. If you remember those mega class vessels, Majesty and Monarch, I spent a lot of time on. Those are my generation's Song of Norway, if you know a lot about the company's history. I am coming from Victoria, Canada. Privileged to be captain on board Symphony of the Seas, and happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you, Captain. Captain Dustin, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Well, again, you have a fact sheet there, but maybe if you have any specific questions to the officers on our dais, just raise your hand and we'll right up front.
What about you, John? You didn't tell about yourself.
I am the cruise director. I come from originally Naples, Florida, by way of Los Angeles and now New Orleans. I've been with Royal for 2.5 years, but prior to that, I was 10 years with our sister company, Celebrity. Right down front. Oh, hi.
I have a question. How many cruises you've been on?
How many cruises I've been on? Oh my goodness, hundreds and hundreds. Starting with Celebrity. So those cruises are 7 days. So you're doing 4 cruises a month. And my contract is 4 months on the ship and 2 months off the ship. So I have 8 months a year, so it adds up, but certainly not nearly as much as these officers, which are probably thousands.
Thank you for the question. I've been on 3 cruises as a guest. I was privileged to go on the Icon last year and see the Icon, amazing ship. If you haven't been on board, absolutely amazing. I was able to bring my wife with me, so we got to enjoy, as I was a guest, got to enjoy all of those neighborhoods, all the pools, bars, restaurants, and we had a fabulous time, so much so that she said she'd only cruise with me if I'm captain on the Icon, so.
But that's actually a very good question. I started calculating now. So if we are here half a year, 6 months per year, so its average is 7 days cruise. So it will be, I don't know, 27 cruises per year, multiply 20 years, 500 something, it's a pretty good number, you know. So I've been cruising a lot. Thank you for the question.
I did a lot of 3-4 days cruise on the Allure, so mine is probably thousands, so I cannot calculate.
Right, I think we're right here on the front toward the end.
Okay, my name is Cheryl, and my husband is Sean. We had the great pleasure to do the behind-the-scenes tour of everything yesterday, and it's amazing. We were in the engine room, and one of the engineers had a beautiful PowerPoint of how things work. But could you explain in plain English, like at my level, and I'm an accountant, why the seas look so calm and I'm still medicating to the hilt to be able to deal with the rolling of the ship? Like the curtains behind you are waving, you know, they're moving. What causes the ship to roll side by side when the seas look so calm?
For me or you, Chief? For me. Okay, all right. Well, yes, thank you for the question. You know, we always hear about these stabilizers that we have, and we do. We have 2 stabilizers, and they've actually been out since we've left St. Martin, and they work to counteract the port to starboard rolling motion of a ship. But a ship moves about 6 axes when in a seaway. So rolling port to starboard is just one, but then you have the heaving, which is the up and down, the pitching, which is forward and aft, the rolling, and then you have the surging, and you have the swaying, and you have the yawing, and all that is working together at one time, right? So what we have had is this long swell where you get 100, 150, 200 meters. It wasn't that long, but between crests and troughs, which is coming from hundreds and hundreds of miles away, which was the system up in the North Atlantic. But locally, we've had beautiful weather, like wind under 10 knots, and 0 wind-driven waves. So when we get those long swells with that 50, 100 meters between crest and trough, we get that fluctuation of buoyancy on the ship's hull, and depending on the aspect, it's hitting the hull. Like as we surfed it on the way down to St. Thomas, we're going into it on the way back, and then we get that kind of riding a horse motion, which brings the ship up and down and pitching into it. So that's the 2 difference of the local kind of wind-driven seas and a weather system far away that creates that long swell, which obviously if the swell is big enough, doesn't matter how big the ship is, you're gonna move in the seaway, if that answers your question. Yeah, it's a beautiful weather though. Obviously the wind you feel on the outer decks is relative wind, so when you put your hand out your car window when it's parked, there's a little less wind than when you put your hand out your car window at 100 kilometers an hour, so the relative wind across the deck has been about 30 knots as we're going into 20 knots into a 10 knot westerly winds. There's your long answer.
Alright guys, so we just did the Captain's Corner. Now we're going to do a behind the scenes tour of where the dancers performed. And then when you walk down, it looks cool if you look here. It's really cool if you go right here.
Hello everyone, so my name is Stephen. I'm the stage and production manager here. Started in Studio B. We were short-handed, so I've been running both venues, so stage manager, production manager here and in Studio B. And this is Ellen.
Hi, my name is Ellen. I am the company manager for the Hairspray and Flightcast. I also play Brenda in Hairspray. And been with the company for 5 or 6 years now, and I'm from Essex in England.
Hello everyone, my name is Daniel. I'm also from England and I've been with the company since 2022, where this was the first show that I ever did with Royal. I play IQ in Hairspray and I'm also one of the wig supervisors for the shows.
So right now, if anybody's got any questions, fire away. We'll try our best to answer them. After we do a Q&A for a little bit, we'll get you up on stage, break into groups. Half of y'all will go do the dressing rooms and look, and then the other half will be on stage with me. I'll answer some technical questions, and then we'll swap you, and so everybody can kind of see a little bit of everything. So.
Well, good question. So the question was how many costume changes average for dancers and how many pairs of shoes? So for Flight, there's more costume changes than for Hairspray. I believe for Flight I have around 10 costume changes, and it's only a 52-minute show. So it's either costumes are stacked underneath each other, we kind of like layer things up, or it's a lot of quick changes. When we go backstage I can kind of show you, but for a lot of us we do all of our changes in the corridors, we don't actually make it back to our dressing rooms in time. So yeah, it's about 10 costume changes. Shoes wise, slightly less, maybe around like 5 pairs of shoes, and then less costume changes for Hairspray.
Yes, ma'am.
How long does it take to learn a new production routine? And do you train on the actual shift you're going to do the production, or you go somewhere?
Hello, so the question was how long does it take basically to put the show up, and do we learn it on the ship? So we come to Miami 2 months for the Broadway shows. We come to Miami 2 months before we get on the ship, and we have between 4 to 6 weeks to learn the shows. When I first ever came to Hairspray, I arrived late, so I learned the show in 5 days, which was very, very crazy, especially when you see how much moves around and stuff. But on average, it's about 5 weeks for the shows, and then you come to the ship, and then you do an install process, which lasts probably 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks for the shows.
Yeah, Hairspray's about 2 weeks, rehearsals on board, and then flights another 2 to 3 weeks. So just because they're so technical.
So the audition process, it kind of varies for everyone. Speaking from my own experience, so they hold auditions in London, New York, Australia, they kind of go worldwide. So you turn up to this audition with 500 other girls that look just like you, who just want the job. And you start off, kind of go across the floor, teach a quick combo, they'll do a cut straight away. And it kind of goes on for about 3 or 4 days of just back to back, like you learn a bit from the show, then do another cut. They will give you some understudy material to go home, learn it overnight, come back the next day. You're singing a song, you're doing a script, so you kind of get put through your paces for the 3 or 4 days. Hopefully they take your picture at the end and they say, we might be in touch. And you sit and you check your emails 4, 5, 6 times a day for however many weeks. And then hopefully you get that call from your agent to say, yeah, you got the job. And then after that, it's about 2 months normally until you then will start rehearsals. So you have to get all your medicals, your visas, kind of all the paperwork side of stuff done.
That's so cool.
Oh yeah.
Put the seats in.
That is a section of the International Space Station, and it's really cool when the show was being written and designed. We were blessed enough to have NASA send us a couple astronauts, and they helped consult on it. They let us come into NASA. They let us take a whole bunch of pictures, and they actually helped us design the set piece. There was actually a joystick inside of it that was on the International Space Station. They were very kind enough to give it to us. Yeah, that's very cool. And then a lot of the parts that were not on the ISS, but they helped us design them. Everything that you see in there, all the knobs, gauges, everything is an exact replica of the actual International Space Station. So that's pretty cool. These, y'all saw these probably last night, flight chairs. So y'all probably wondering how we keep them from rolling away. We just flip of a switch, pick up, I can roll them around, nice and easy, no problem, and then keep them from rolling off the cast room.
Okay. With frame.
Yeah, it's got a little silver frame around it. That way she's going to take y'all backstage, y'all can see the wings, and then she'll take it backstage to the dressing room, and put the swing back there.
Hi. I'll just wait for you all. It's a busy one today. We don't normally have this many people. So as you can see, the wings are quite small, especially with 2 set rotations. Obviously we're at flight at the moment. You can see more so on the other side, but when we're finished with the set, a lot of it goes into the ceiling just to make room. So that is Tracy Turnblad's bed for Good Morning Baltimore up there in the ceiling. But I'll show you more so on the other side when we get round to it where it's installed. So we get help from the other cast just for dressing. So these are kind of just cheat sheets for parts when they need to help us out and whereabouts in the show that is. Feel free to head on down and then I'll just let everyone know.
From customs.
We keep track of how many people have fallen over, slipped over. We keep track of how many times we've stopped the show, how many shows we have left until the end of the contract, how many shows we've done, and then we also keep track of bloopers. So if anyone falls, wig malfunction, costume malfunction, anything that is remotely funny, we keep track, and then at the end of the contract we put together like a 15-minute long reel of everything that's gone wrong, and it's quite funny. We also have our like muster rotations and box office. We help out with the balloon drop, so it's kind of like once a month you will go and you'll help blow up the balloons, ready for the balloon drop on day 1. Yeah, so it's kind of all the boring bits kept on there, and then all the funny bits on here. Feel free to head into this dressing room.
All of her costumes. I don't know how much she wears this one in the show, you might not see it. She looked like this one, I think is one of my favourites that she wears. And she wears it for 30 seconds in Without Love. And then in Time This To Me, behind the scrim, the see-through cloth thing that comes in, they all come on in the couples and walk around it. But like, if you feel how heavy this is, it's crazy, right? So a lot of these costumes for flight have come from, I believe it's the same company that make the, let me double check. It doesn't say. But a lot of them come from the same company that create the costumes for the ice skating shows as well. Now, if you've ever been on Harmony, the ice skating costumes are the heaviest things I've ever felt in the world. Like when we put them on them, we're literally having to like yank them up because they're crazy. If you want to feel how heavy this is. And then, yeah.
have to dance with it.
That's why when it becomes rocky, we're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's fine. A set person or 2 people to build the wigs and create the wigs, and they're all handmade.
From the flight shoes. My favorite wig in here is this one. My favorite wig in here is this one. Let's go.
Where else are we going to start? This dressing room.
I Alright guys, so we did some fun activities. Now we're gonna go to Solarium Bistro for dinner. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Can't wait to show you our next adventure. Bye.